guys, what's up and welcome once again to my channel. It's Ali here with another video for you guys. If you're new to my channel, then thank you so much for stopping by, and if you've been rocking with me since day one, welcome on back. So today, as you guys can see by the title of this video, I will be doing a review slash demo on the new Fenty Beauty makeup line by Rihanna. But this is going to be a foundation review because quite honestly, that was really the only product from the line that I wanted. I'm just a foundation girl and that's how I get down. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Also, make sure to hit that notification bell. That way you guys can get notified every time I upload a new video. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Let's get into it. So I've already pretty much like cleansed and moisturized my face and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna go in with a lot of my usual products, honestly. As I mentioned before, I ended up getting the foundation because it was really the only product from the line that I wanted. And it looks like so. Packaging is super cute. I love the speckled ombre touch. Very chic, very classic, and it's really easy to spot as well. Fun fact, I had originally purchased the shade 460, so I have tested out this foundation for about a day, and the 460 was a cool undertone, which I was aware of, but the 450 warm, which is my actual shade, was honestly, it wasn't even sold out. Like, homegirl that was standing next to me when I went into Sephora to go purchase it the first time, I know that she grabbed it with the quickness once she seen that swatch on my hand. But I was like, you know what, let me try the 460. I'm sure it'll still work. I can make it work once I blend it with my powders and everything else. Didn't work. So if you have warm undertones like I do, I would recommend the 450. Obviously if you're a deeper skin tone, because I believe this is the only shade in the darker skin complexions that is of warm undertones. The others are more so cool or reddish undertones or blue undertones and so on and so forth. So I went with this one. The packaging is super cute. I love it. Very professional, very sleek, and this is a 1.8 fluid ounce bottle, so you are getting a lot of product in here, but you also want to be mindful of how much of it you're using. So what I can definitely say about the first time that I used it, because as mentioned I did try it in the shade 460, is that it sets very quickly. Like, it dries super quick on the skin, and you're gonna see when I apply it. I'm just excited to try this one out because it's my shade, and they do oxidize one shade darker. So if you're like a 430, it'll more than likely set to a 440. So you don't really have to go one shade up because it's gonna set darker anyway. So that's why I'm excited to try this one, because it'll more than likely set right. I'm gonna give it like at least a 455. That's what I'm thinking it'll set to. It'll just adjust to my skin tone. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm gonna be applying it with my Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. So I'm actually gonna wet this before I go in and do that, so it'll be nice and fluffy and all that good stuff. I'm gonna go in with my Nyx Shine Killer, and it looks like this. Now, another reason I hadn't bothered to like purchase too much from the line is, quite honestly, I swatched some of the highlighters, and for me, honestly, I felt like it looked too glittery and almost a bit too chalky. Like, I just felt like it didn't blend how I would have liked for it to blend out. So that's why I decided not to purchase it. But I know for sure that I will be going back for the Matchsticks shimmer sticks, because those I feel are gonna blend really nicely. And there was one of the shades that I saw on the site that I'm loving. It's like a rose gold tone, so I think that's going to be a super bomb highlight for deeper skin tones. So I will be more than likely including the other products that I decide to purchase in a get ready with me, so stay tuned for that. But gonna apply my NYX Shine Killer all over my face, mainly in my T-zone, to make sure that your girl is not oily. Cool. So once we have all that on, I'm now going to go in with my LA Girl Pro Conceal. You guys know I always use this, the orange corrector, and I'm just gonna go in and cover up any imperfections or hyperpigmentation that a girl is currently having. So now that I have all that corrector on, it's time to see what this bad boy can do. I am excited because, as I mentioned before, the other one it just set too dark, one, and then there were some areas where I looked gray, and those areas were pretty much like my forehead and around my nose, and I knew it wasn't gonna work as soon as I applied my setting powder, which is the Topaz setting powder. Like, it just didn't peek through the way that it normally does, so I was like, ooh, time to exchange. So shout out to Sephora, because you can exchange even if it's used. I didn't want to be that customer, but I had to make sure that I had my correct shade. So got the 450. It says to shake really well, so we're gonna shake really well here. Because I used the other one, I'm not gonna use that much, because honestly, one pump in my opinion was pretty decent, but I'm gonna go with at least like 3. So I'm gonna pump that. Ooh, that's a bit, okay, that's like 2.5. I'm gonna do a little swatch for you guys. And they also recommend, oh, you see, look at that, that's like a perfect match. So they recommend that in order for you to find your correct shade, you want to let the foundation dry to a complete matte. That way you can see it literally match your skin. Otherwise, if it's still wet, you're not gonna know for sure if that's your correct tone or not. I knew that this was my correct shade, but I still went with the 460 anyway, because when it's set, and I should have taken a shot of it too, when it's set, it was like super dark, but I was like, oh no, it's gonna work. And then look at me, I still ended up getting the 450. But these are a good 2.5 pumps, and I'm gonna work with this really fast because, like I said before, it does dry quickly. So, ooh, I need a mirror, I'm wild. This is what it's looking like on its own. I feel like it looks a little red, just a little bit. It looks a little red in my opinion, but I'm also gonna just let it do its thing. As far as coverage, I did notice this when I used the first one. It's, I would say, a sheer to medium coverage. Honestly, I feel like it applies, it's very lightweight, so it's very weightless. You hardly feel it on your skin. It pretty much blends in and feels like skin. Like, there's plenty of times, actually, when I wore it the first time, my mom had wiped my forehead thinking that I had something, and I was like, girl, I got makeup on, like, and she was just like, oh, I couldn't even tell. So that was funny. But it's very weightless. It's sheer to medium coverage in my opinion. Like, usually my regular foundations would immediately cover up any imperfections, and mind you, I put on the corrector, so I can still see just a little bit of my hyperpigmentation here, and I can also see some of it peeking through here. That's fine with me, only because I don't go for super full coverage anyway. You guys know I always use like super natural and very lightweight makeup, so for me it works. If you're looking for something much more full coverage, and that will be like superbalm.com, like heavy duty, then you may want to look into another foundation. This is buildable though, so I know that you can definitely build it up to a full coverage, but for me it works. Now I'm hoping it will definitely adjust, because right now, even like on my neck, you can see the slight difference. I don't know if you guys can see. Yeah, right here. See? Here's my neck. Here's the foundation. And you can see that it's like a little darker than my neck. And that's surprising because I wasn't expecting that. We're gonna run with it. I'm gonna move on and apply my concealer. I'm only doing those 2.5 pumps simply because, as mentioned, your girl is not trying to go for like a super full coverage look. That's just my personal preference. But very lightweight, very dewy, nice. It's supposed to be a soft matte finish, so if you also want something that is going to be completely matte, this is not going to be it. You better look into Becca or Kat Von D, one of those bad boys, or any other matte foundation, because this is a soft matte finish, so you're not gonna get that. You're more than likely gonna have to like use a powder to really end up with a matte finish. But going in with my LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Toffee, and yeah. Now, as you guys can see, my concealer has pretty much like disappeared, and that's because I still have some leftover foundation on my on my sponge, and it has pretty much absorbed my concealer and blended it out, which honestly on any other day I would be okay with, but on the days that I'm really looking for like concealing and highlight, no. So I'm gonna apply a bit more to really make it peek through. I'm gonna have to use the other side of my sponge to make sure that my concealer shows up. Alright, so that looks better. Yeah, that's usually how my concealer ends up. I would have gone in with a third layer, but I'm not trying to do too much. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and set it with the Ben Nye Topaz powder. And you guys see me use this like all the time. One thing I will say, I was watching plenty of other reviews, and some people said that it didn't have a fragrance. This has a fragrance in my opinion. There's a very light, like I can smell it. Yeah, I can smell it on my sponge, and even as you're applying the foundation, it has a teensy bit of a scent to it. It's not bothersome, but I could do without it. So there is a light fragrance to this foundation, so that may also be something that you may want to consider if you're, you know, looking for a foundation that doesn't have a scent to it, but this does. And I don't know if it's like other people didn't smell it, but I can smell it and I could do without it. Now when I use the shade 460, this is pretty much what I was looking for. When I used the shade 460, my concealer completely just like disappeared. It turned into like a grayish undertone, which I didn't like, and I already know that that's because the undertone was just off. But this is what I was looking for, and this is what I was hoping would happen, that there would be some sort of warmth to my face, but it is completely a cool undertone. So if you are a shade, if you have cool undertones, 460 and all the other shades would be for you. I think the next shade after 460 is more of a neutral undertone, but this is what I was looking for. So I'm happy because at least my concealer is peeking through, and it just adds more, you know, brightness and awakeness to my face. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and set the rest of my face with my two favorite powders ever. I'm gonna be using the Black Radiance in Rich Mahogany and the Maybelline Fit Me in the shade 360. Toffee. Yeah. And I'm going in with my Moda brushes. This is the Royal and Langnickel line, and this is their large powder brush from their 10-set piece. So now that the foundation, the concealer, everything has been set, I really like how smooth my skin looks. It looks really, really smooth. It looks really, really even. And once again, it's super lightweight. Even though I just powdered my face and I used 2 powders at that, I still feel like I'm gonna just jack up at any given moment and be like, oh yeah, and completely forget that I have makeup on. So it's definitely just like smoothed out my face, really lightweight. I got more coverage once I added the powder, but once again, you can definitely make this as full coverage as you'd like. You would just have to add some more pumps of foundation in order to get like heavy full coverage. But if you are pretty lightweight with the way that you wear your makeup and you're going for a much more natural look, this is definitely the foundation for you. So I'm going to continue with the rest of my face, and I'm gonna go in with my Too Faced Shadow Insurance on the lids. Give my eyes a little bit of color today. Okay, so next up I'm gonna go in with my Violet Voss eyeshadow palette. I forget which one. Oh, this is the Holy Grail palette. Duh. So this is an oldie but goodie. Very beautiful eyeshadows. I usually always use these 2 right here on the bottom. So yeah, I'm gonna use my blending brush, also from the Royal and Langnickel brush line, and I'm gonna go with those 2 shades that I just pointed out, which is Brownie Points and Teddy Bear. I'm gonna apply that all over the lid and also in my inner crease. Now I'm going in with Teddy Bear, and I'm gonna apply this in my crease area. Alright, so now that I have that on, I'm just gonna go in with the large eyeshader brush by Royal and Langnickel, and I'm gonna go into, I don't want to do too much on my eyeballs because I'm trying to keep it as natural as possible. So I think I'm gonna mix, yeah, I'm gonna mix Bestie and Transition. Where you at, Bestie? Bestie is here, and then I mix it with Transition. So I'm gonna mix those 2 and apply that all on my lid to just give it a little pop. Now I'm just gonna go back in with that blending brush and get rid of any harsh line. And then I'm gonna go back in with the large eyeshader brush, and I'm just gonna highlight my brow bone, and I'm gonna use Bat My Eyes, which is this like really pretty brown coppery tone right here. Bat my eyes. I'm gonna take a little bit of that just to highlight. that's what the eyeballs are looking like. I'm gonna go in with my eyeliner, and I'm so excited because I thought I had lost my crown brushes. This is the C160 eyeliner brush, and this eyeliner brush is like bomb.com when you want like a wicked wing liner. And I'm gonna be using my Maybelline New York Eye Studio eyeliner. This is the gel liner. Coolio. Now that I have my eyeliner on, I'm actually gonna go over it with a little bit of liquid eyeliner, and this was actually gifted to me thanks to the people over at the Texture on the Runway fashion show that took place this week by Naturally Curly and Sally Beauty. So they gave us this in our goodie bag, which is the Ardell Fame Chaser liquid eyeliner. So I just realized that my camera wasn't filming, so I don't even know like how much just got filmed. More than likely the eyes didn't make it, who knows. But I just finished applying my highlighter by Cargo HD, and this is in the shade Bronze. I'm also pretty sure that it didn't film when I applied my blush. So the blush that I'm currently wearing is the High Definition blush by Nyx. So yeah, we just gonna act like that didn't happen, but everything happens for a reason. So it's probably just telling me like, girl, speed up your video process. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and move on to the lip, and I'm gonna use the Bold Lip Liner by NK. You can find this at your local beauty supply, but this is just in the shade dark brown. I use this all the time whenever I'm gonna do a brown lippy or any lippy at that. And right on top of that, I'm gonna go in with my favorite, which is the NYX Butter Lip Gloss in the shade Ginger Snap. Yeah. So we're just very brown girl vibes today. Fun fact, this is how I would do my makeup for an event, or if I'm just going out with girlfriends and I want to spice it up a bit. This is usually what you're gonna get out of it. Alright, so final thoughts on the foundation. I like this shade a lot more than I did the 460. It has definitely set to what my foundations normally look like, so I'm really happy with that. Really lightweight, so you're definitely not gonna feel this on your skin at all. Like, I'm literally like moving around talking and I do not feel it whatsoever. It is still giving me just like a little bit of the dewy vibes, and that's because, as you guys know, it sets to a soft matte finish. Price point, this retails for $34, so with tax you're looking at about $37. To me, quite honestly, that's a really bomb price point in my opinion, because usually for a 1 ounce bottle, especially if you're getting foundations from other competitors such as like Too Faced, Kat Von D, Lancome, Buxom, their foundations usually retail for about $40 to $50. So normally it's usually around the $50 mark. So I think that 34 bucks is actually really reasonable. The fact that the price point is somewhat median range compared to its competitors is really dope. And I actually saw that with a lot of the other products. The lip gloss from Fenty Beauty retails for $18, the sponge is $16, the highlighters, if I'm not mistaken, retail for $32, and then the matchsticks are $25. So for, say, at least 5 to 6 products, you're honestly not spending that much compared to competitor prices. If you want to get something that's affordable and will also last you a lifetime, because I can definitely say that with the amount of product that I use in order to get this much coverage, that's perfectly fine for me. I don't feel like I need to use too much unless I really want like a super full coverage look. But if you're going for something that's a lot more natural and lightweight, I would definitely recommend the Fenty Beauty Foundation. The only things that I would say I could do without is the fragrance. It has a very light fragrance to it, which I would prefer it not to have. But as far as the coverage and the finish and the feel of it, I am a fan. Super, super happy with it. I can still see a slight line of demarcation from where the foundation lands on my neck. So it's nothing too crazy. It'll easily blend out if you just use your powders. But other than that, this is the finish that I normally look for. So I'm really happy. It looks so good. Oh, let me pull out my baby hairs. You know when you don't pull out your baby hairs and you feel like you got a big old forehead? Yeah. Really, really happy with the finish. I will do some close-up shots for you guys. That way you guys can get the whole shebang, bang, bang. But as mentioned before, this is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Foundation by Rihanna. Kudos to her for releasing 40 shades during her first launch, because you know, it's hard to find a bomb foundation, especially if you are a deeper skin tone. You know that most brands don't really cater to the brown girl fam, unless we're over here like knocking on the door countless times like, hello, we need a foundation in our shade. So I'm really, really happy that she did that. If you guys want to see a video on all my favorite brown girl foundations, then please feel free to let me know in the comments down below, and I will do that for you all. I hope you guys all enjoyed this review slash demo. You guys enjoyed the look. Let me know if you guys want to see more makeup videos, more reviews and demos, or just tutorials on how a girl be beating her face, or how she used to beat her face, and I will do that for you guys. But as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.